The man who built the modern, restless information cycle was ultimately silenced by a disease that steals the human mind. Before his satellite signals began circling the Earth, the American media landscape was defined by the triopoly of ABC, CBS, and NBC. Information was domestic, highly sanitized, and dispensed exclusively in 30-minute, rigidly scheduled intervals. The drive to shatter that structure began with a personal tragedy in 1963. Facing the crushing financial weight of an aggressive business acquisition, Turner's father took his own life. Overnight, a 24-year-old rebel inherited a struggling billboard company. Rather than sell the company to satisfy creditors, Turner worked 20 hours a day, leveraged every asset he had, and restored the firm to profitability. This period proved he could thrive under extreme pressure, but it also left him seeking a more expansive landscape than physical billboards. He turned his attention to the television airwaves, looking for a space where he could dictate the environment entirely. In 1975, he found a way to bypass the geographic limitations of local television. Instead of relying on terrestrial relays, Turner beamed the signal of a low-rated Atlanta station up to a communications satellite, broadcasting it into homes nationwide. This superstation model relied on a dual revenue stream. Turner collected national advertising revenue while simultaneously charging local cable operators carriage fees. This massive capital influx funded the creation of CNN, despite skepticism from executives. Turner's vision was predicated on the idea that news should be a utility, available whenever the viewer wanted it, rather than a scheduled evening broadcast. His need for command often extended into the field. After purchasing the Atlanta Braves to secure programming for his station, Turner famously sent the manager on vacation during a losing streak and appointed himself field manager, donning a uniform to run the team from the dugout. In 1986, he leveraged his assets to acquire the MGM film library. Over the vocal protests of filmmakers like Woody Allen and Orson Welles, Turner began a massive project to digitally colorize black and white classics to suit his personal business requirements. To Turner, history, art, and information were commodities subject to his personal will. He frequently reminded his critics that because he owned the films, he could do whatever he wanted with them. The 1991 Persian Gulf War served as the ultimate test for this borderless information stream. It was the first time a global audience could watch a conflict unfold without the delay of traditional news cycles. As other news organizations flagged Baghdad during the bombardment, CNN correspondents remained in the El Rashid Hotel. Their live reports provided a continuous source of information as the bombs began to fall. This transformed the audience from passive readers of historical summaries into active witnesses of history in real time. This shift created the CNN effect, where the real-time broadcasting of war and humanitarian crises began exerting immediate pressure on the decisions of global policymakers. By stripping away the traditional gatekeepers of time and geography, Turner ensured that governments could no longer easily control the narrative of world events. He had become the architect of the global information age. In the late 1990s, the scaling of his business led to its absorption by bureaucratic corporate conglomerates. Turner Broadcasting System merged with Time Warner, leaving Turner as a vice chairman within a massive hierarchy. The subsequent merger with AOL in 2001, which Turner later called the greatest mistake of his life, erased his influence. The collapse of the company's stock cost him billions in personal wealth and led to his resignation by 2003. Having lost control of the electromagnetic landscape, he turned to the physical one. He began acquiring land across the American West, eventually becoming one of the largest private landowners in the United States. On his 2 million acres, he focused on sustainable conservation. He built a private herd of 45,000 bison, creating a commercial market for the meat to ensure the long-term survival of the species. In 1997, he made a public pledge of $1 billion to the United Nations. The gift supported global health and environmental initiatives and challenged other members of the billionaire class to take responsibility for international crises. He spent his remaining years and resources targeting existential risks to humanity, from nuclear proliferation to climate change, moving his focus from media dominance to strategic global intervention. The final loss of his personal autonomy came in 2018, when he publicly disclosed his diagnosis of Lewy body dementia. The progressive neurological disorder began to impact the memory and movement of a man once defined by his relentless energy.
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, so why not invest in this channel? Click like and subscribe for more.